Hello and welcome to Vibra Finance. My name is Lindsay. Today I am joined by Sandra Larsen. She is a personal trainer and mental health advocate. Before we get started talking about Pulse Chain launch and how to prepare for sudden wealth syndrome and our upcoming excitement, a little hello from Vibra Finance.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance. We are the future of crypto.
Hello and welcome back to Vibra Finance. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Sandra, thank you for coming on, and I am so excited for what you're about to share with our audience. We're taking a step back from all the energy in the market, and we're going to turn it from focusing on that to focusing on ourselves so that we can continue participating like in a healthy fashion in this market and in this ecosystem in particular for 15 plus years, right? So here we are. Sandra, thank you for being here. Will you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Lindsay, and thank you everyone for your time listening here today. I'm glad to be here, and the reason I wanted to come on and share is because I think we each have a little tiny piece of the puzzle, and mental health gets strained, especially after pandemics and crypto and everything we're going through. And I just want to share some things that I use in my practice to help people stay present and not get anxious and flip their lids and get wrecked. So I'm hoping for sudden wealth for everyone. Either way, this information is good for all humans, but just to recent mental health breakthroughs are game changers. And I just want to share some things with you about that today.
You know what? It is. There are absolutely game changers. When you have your mind right, your money's tight, you can focus on other things that are way more fun, because like attracts like. And energy creates energy. And if you're creating the energy of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that is exactly what you're going to attract. So I don't know about you, but resetting the nervous system is simple. It's easy. It can be done privately, and it can be done anywhere. And I really love that we as individuals have that accessibility within all of us. So if you're out there and you have no idea what we're talking about, Sandra's going to get to the good stuff. Oh, we are really, really excited. So just very briefly, before we get into the excitement around Pulse Chain launch and maybe a little, I put together a little checklist, if you don't mind going through that, because
love it.
If you're prepared with a little bit of a plan, it makes it easier going forward, just knowing like, okay, I've checked off these boxes. This is what I've done to prepare myself. If anything goes awry from here, I have a plan to go to, I have boxes to check, and then I can pivot and move forward. So before we get started on that, can you give us a very brief idea of what sudden wealth syndrome is and how it will affect, or could not will, because I don't want to put that out there. So, or this is why we're streaming about this, so it does not affect those who are going to be, open to receiving. Let's not close that channel here. What I mean is, can you explain what wealth syndrome is, please?
So sudden wealth is when, whether it's you win the lottery or a divorce or whatever is going on. Sorry, the garbage man's here.
Speaking of divorce.
That if you're not present enough and you're not being able to think and feel and function properly, you make poor choices. And those poor choices, a lot of times, it's gone within a few years. So in preparation for this, it all starts with the nervous system. The nervous system is the root of our physiology. And you can talk about anxiety and depression and all these other things, But what do we do? It's not just talking about it. I want to share with you things that you can do on a daily basis that don't take long, but they hack the nervous system right back so you can be present and think and feel at the same time.
Oh, I love it. I love actionable steps. I love a plan that you can follow, and I love being able to take these things with us anywhere that we go. So here we are with our checklist. I just really have to say, like, a huge shout out to Rags to Riches. He did a great, I mean, he may have a questionable choice in beverages. Let's be serious.
Well, he has a ginger.
Yeah. I mean, we all love him despite of it. It's an anomaly for sure. But I highly recommend, and yes, that is a recommendation, that you please go check out his channel, Rags to Riches, here on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter and look at that stream. He posted it a couple days ago, and it really goes down into a much deeper dive into what this checklist really should be and things that you should be aware of. If you're new to this ecosystem, if you're an experienced OG, hey, it never hurts to take a look and to go through a couple things, right? So make sure that you visit revoke.cash. Oh, shoot, where was it? Link? There you go, revoke.cash. This is what it looks like. Know that you can also revoke your permissions for dApps in your MetaMask wallet too. Just go up to the right, click on there, and you'll see your connected sites. Make sure that you're removing anything that you don't want to be attached to. So where you go, others will follow. It's kind of like osmosis, water, all that jazz, right? So keep yourself safe. So, and then you're going to come on over here and you're going to head over to pulsechain.com and play around with things. Get to know, did you play around with the testnet at all?
A little bit. I'm really kind of a noob at all this. My son got me into it, so I'm grateful, but I'm learning a lot. It's been a couple of years. I'm learning a lot, but I'm a little intimidated about playing on the testnet.
You know, honestly, if you're intimidated about playing on the testnet, then from my experience, I created a brand new wallet, new seed phrase. And that's important to note when you go into MetaMask that you're not creating a new account underneath there. You're going to go into a separate browser, open another Chrome, download another MetaMask, start a new seed phrase, and then you can play around the testnet there. And, you know, you're loading your, you head over to the faucet, you can claim some free Pulse to test around on there. And then your wallet and your things are protected. So until you really get that confidence, by all means, go in and play around with, the Pulse Chain is going to be a playground, right? It is a playground, and it's a big sandbox. Right at the end of the day, and all these projects are coming in, all these people are coming in. Some people play nice with their sand, some people throw it in your face. Some people take your sands, and people take your toys. It's a whole nutcase out there. But at the end, because we're all like, you know, we've got a lot of energy, we've got a lot of excitement built up around here. We have so many projects launching on Pulse Chain. We have so many hex skins that are behind it, so many Pulse skins behind it. And we're seeing interest from communities that have so far snubbed their nose at Richard Hart. They've snubbed their nose at hex skins. They've snubbed their nose at First Principles. I mean, let's be serious. Let's look at the portfolios. Erwin. That was like his elbow cough. It makes me laugh. But anyway. So I got a little excited about that, but this is where we are, and we just want to make sure that we're all set up for that. So after you do that, make sure you set up a wallet tracker page in your crypto workbook. I sent you one of those, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, start a new wallet, write down your wallet tracker information all on this page. It has I blocked it out here so that, you know, it is what it is. People will download it anyway, but at least block some of the information from getting swept up there. So it has a spot for everything you need to keep yourself organized so that you can continue to participate safely and with confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. And then make sure that you're connected to Richard Hart's socials. That's important. You want to make sure that you are visiting his official Twitter page. Official. So if you zoom in here, check out my friend. That's right. My friend that follows me, Mr. Richard Hart. Hey, Richard. Nice to see you. Anyway, get Richard a follow. This is where you're going to get your information. You're not coming to Viber Finance for it, although I would love if you would take the time to like, subscribe, hit the bell button for all of your notifications, please. Please go to Richard Hart and only his socials, do not click. Okay, actually, let's go back to the checklist for this one, because I feel like this is really important. Please repeat 10 times. I will not click links on Twitter, Telegram, Discord, or DMs.
I will not click links anywhere. I got wrecked. I already got wrecked.
Yes. Okay. So we have all these, we have lots of valuable learning lessons to learn from you today. This is going nuts.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like this is a big playground. There's a lot of new life that's going to be coming into Pulse Chain. I mean, think about what you're holding at the fork. What are you going to be holding? If you're going to be holding hex, you're coming in with your hex. There's people that are excited. There's new projects that are going to be launching when Pulse Chain launches. All this new lifeblood, all this new energy. You're going to make sure that you're double checking addresses. You're not clicking all willy-nilly, and you're double checking addresses, at least the last 8 to 10 digits of the alphanumeric code at the end of things. Really just be careful. And then create your Pulse Chain action plan. What's your post-Pulse action plan look like? Are you making a list of all of your FU money things you want to go buy and blow
Oh yeah, I got it all planned out.
Okay, so this is kind of like what we're getting at with sudden wealth syndrome, right? Like, what is your pulse? What's your post game thing, and what's your FU money game plan look like? I call it FU money because it when you're participating in these markets, if you're putting everything in that you have in and you're afraid you're going to lose it, it is not as much fun as when you put in what you can afford at the times you can afford it, and you take a plan, you have an action plan to take profit, and you have the mental strength and stamina to withstand potential loss. So this is where, right?
I'm going to hold on for dear life, and when it gets to a point where I can take some out and feel okay, I can play with. I'm really into, actually, I knew about Aubrey de Grey decades ago. I've been into this for a long time. And when my son mentioned this, I'm like, what? Crypto, I didn't want anything to do with. And he said, no, really, there's somebody into mental health, and the guy's really great. Richard's trying to get rid of all the corruption. It's a great community. And then I saw the chart had fractals, like sacred geometry and crypto. Okay, all right, I'll check it out. Let's start checking it out. So I've got my little, dream list of things that I would love to have. And mostly I would love to be healthy and live long to enjoy it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're going to give us some game plans on how to extend our health so that we can maintain, sustain, and grow our wealth. And I know you have I know you have so much to share with that. So where do we start?
Well, where we start is I want us to do something together, because honestly, the way our nervous, yes, we can, well.
You want me to do that?
Wait a second on that. So the way that our nervous system works, it's almost like we're two people inside. It's like we have two almost separate nervous systems. The only way our species has survived is because our nervous system is so highly evolved into safety and keeping us safe. So we have one nervous system for when we're safe, when we function, when the body can heal itself and all the systems are functioning properly. And then we have another branch of the same nervous system that is when there's any kind of danger or threat to our life. Neuroception, this is all the work of Dr. Stephen Porges, by the way, the polyvagal theory. And neuroception means it's not cognitive. Like, it's not about a thought. You know how when you walk into a room and go, no, I gotta get out of here. or you walk into a room and go, this place is nice. That's not our cognitive judgment. That's us neurocepting. I mean, we have all different layers to our being other than our skin and bones. Meat sack, right? We've got a whole electromagnetic field. The electro is the thoughts, the magnetic is the feelings. And what happens is when we're not safe and we activate into this other branch, it's neural defense. And our vagus nerve sets everything over onto the mobilizing for an attack. we don't need to be digesting. We don't need to be doing other things. It's all about how we can survive. And so the main thing that happens is that we lose our ability to feel. We only can think when we're in those realms. So if you look around, there's a lot of forces at play that are trying to keep us in fear so that we can't think.
Amen to that.
Right? Or feel. I mean, there's a lot of mental health issues going today.
Well, I mean, we're exposed to a lot today, and everything is accessible at the click of a button or the touch of a fingertip. And think about how much sensory is coming in. I mean, let's go to the root of it, really, where the sensory is coming in. The sensory is coming in here, and it's getting blocked because it's so hard to have all that sensory going on. Plus, some people aren't even aware that the energy that you hold around yourself is you're sensitive to it in a way of speaking. So some people don't even understand, like when they're walking a room, and if you don't check in with your gut regularly, then you don't know why you have this uneasy feeling. You just think like, oh man, I don't want to be here because of this, and this. Well, there might be another reason that your lizard brain is telling you like, it's not safe here.
Right. And
Flight
also,
or fight.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. Flight or fight.
Yeah. So go ahead and put the chart up. So this chart is the work of Dr. Stephen Porges. It's called the polyvagal theory, and it explains what I just mentioned in visually. It might not be 100% accurate, but it's good enough for our reasons today. So the green part on the bottom is that one branch of safety. So when we're safe and we can engage socially with people, we feel connected. That's why people meditate and stuff, right? To come back down into this place where we can be mindful and grounded and impact our world. And when we're in that place, I'll get into this a little more later, but that's where the body can heal itself. It's really worth it. And when we activate up into fight, flight, or freeze, we can't think as well. We can't feel as well. It's the vagus nerve. It's one of the cranial nerves. All systems immediately shift into neural defense. And so you can even tell by the way people talk. Like if somebody's like really defensive. So now instead of going, oh, what a jerk, it's like, oh, they're really activated. So we all have the ability to act like jerks or to be really present. And that's another thing about sudden wealth. It's like they say, it doesn't change you. It just makes you more of who you are. So if we can get present and grounded and kind and feeling before all this happens, then we can make better choices. So if you look at this chart, the yellow zone is the fight or flight. And when the vagus nerve switches us into neural defense, our blood pressure increases, our heart rate increases, fuel availability increases, adrenaline, oxygen circulation to vital organs, blood clotting, pupil size, dilation of bronchi, and defensive responses. Those all kick in. What decreases is fuel storage, insulin activity, digestion, salivation, not salvation, relational ability, and immune response. So this is really important to all of us. Now, if you notice the things that I just read in that little yellow box where it says increases, those are the reasons why a lot of people are on pharmaceuticals. It's like, oh, there's something wrong with me. I have to take a pill. The doctor said this and that, or statins or whatever. It's not okay. Not a good choice. You're not thinking right. But if we can, instead of looking out there always, to look within, to pause and look within and start to feel again, then our intuition comes out and we go, oh, no, thank you, doctor, but I know how to bring my blood pressure back down without your drugs. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Things like that, some people need pharmaceuticals, and I don't mean to offend anybody. I'll apologize in advance. But there's a lot of pharmaceuticals out there that have side effects that are really dangerous. And so if we can first look, let's do it together. So I want to start with a practice from Heart Math. It's very simple, and you can do it as many times throughout the day as you want. And it's kind of amazing because when we're talking like this, if your nervous system right now is activated, my words aren't really landing. And so I want to show you the difference. So together, if you can sit with as tall of a spine as possible, you're welcome to put your hand on your heart. And nobody has to do this. Only do it if you want. Put your hand on your heart and take some nice deep breaths. And inhale light into your heart. Exhale light out into the field. Kind of slow your breath a little. You can do this as many breaths as you need to. And now while you're breathing that way, I want you to remember a feeling of gratitude or love or compassion towards someone or something that you did. A memory. You can close your eyes if you want. Feel that feeling while you're breathing, receiving the light into your heart and radiating it out. Also really important to make sure that your rib cage moves while you breathe. So if you inhale, your belly expands, your rib cage expands, and your shoulders might even lift. On the exhale, the shoulders come down, the rib cage comes in, the belly comes in. Because when we have some kind of trauma that hasn't been released, we lock up. And so I notice a lot of my clients, the rib cage is stuck. However, after practicing this for a while, you'll start to notice it'll kind of unstick little bits. And then over time, you'll notice that, wow, my rib cage is expanding and contracting. And that's the diaphragm. That's really important for oxygen and blood and all kinds of functions that we have. And so really, mental illness and physical illness are the same thing. So we can, by taking care of our body and mind together, we can raise our vibrational level, we can hold more light, we can be more present, we can feel, we can intuit, we can make better choices. I think the main thing is how we communicate with one another. We've been through a lot. Humanity has never experienced this before. But we're survivors. And we're here. Excuse me. I'm feeling it.
Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it from you. Feeling it. But
yeah, so some feelings are big, when we're locked down and not feeling, but just thinking all the time. And all of a sudden we start to feel again. Some of the feelings are really big, and we have to work with it till we get to this point. Like all life pulsates, contraction and expansion. But when we're traumatized, it's a smaller expansion and contraction. As we release all this, it gets bigger, but it's going to do some womps and stuff until we get to the point where we're there, balanced.
Think about it like a candle flame here. So like you said, when you're in flight or fight, when you're in trauma mode, and I hate saying trauma because the word has been so like, man, it just is what it is. But anyway, so think about it like this. Think about it like a candle light and a candle flicker. You're going to get some wind back and forth, but the deeper you can pull that light or that breath into yourself, the deeper you can expand. Remind yourself, because sometimes in that moment, you might just need to hear like, I'm allowed to take up space. And whatever that means to you in the moment, like I'm allowed to say no, I'm allowed to set a boundary, I'm allowed to turn down the invitation. Like, I don't know why, I just felt compelled to preach about that one for a minute, but it's true. Like, especially with Mercury went retrograde today, you're going to feel these feelings deep, but this does totally go back to crypto and wealth. So, for those of you ready to hit the click eject button, like, stay with us here. These are tears of gratitude. These are tears of joy. These are tears of abundance, and really connecting with the collective out there. Man, we have a lot of like-minded individuals out there. We have people that are ready to hit the reset button on what's been told to us for so long. And without getting ejected from YouTube, we won't get into specifics. But like you said, simply being able to have a conversation with your practitioner, your physician, your trusted medical advisory, right? Where you are in a position of empowerment, knowing that there are root causes for these diseases. These diseases are simply manifestations of stagnant energy. And so exercises like the one that Sandra just taught us will help to create, like, that is the most beautiful place to start if you don't know how. And meditation looks like different things to people, but that is an excellent example of a sit still meditation that you can do. And if you're already overstimulated, it is so excruciating to sit still with a busy mind.
Well, that's another thing. We didn't get this far into the freeze thing, but if we're activated and not safe, you can't meditate. It's one of my pet peeves of people going, "Oh, you just need to meditate." It's like, because then people go, "Oh, I tried that. It doesn't work for me. I'm a failure." No. Find what your nervous system tells you is safe.
Find a different form of meditation.
Right. Or go walk in nature, or just be curled up in bed for the day, or whatever it takes for you to go within and go, "Okay, I feel safe. This is what safety feels like."
I like crypto banter with that one. I'm like, let's go. Like, for me, like, when you're feeling that way, I'm like, eject the energy button. You got to bring some life into yourself. And, you're not going to, at the end of the day, like, yeah, sometimes it does feel good to soothe yourself by laying in bed. But I had like a personal thing watching a friend do that for a little bit. And then I finally went in there with some symbols, like a monkey.
No, not every day. I'm not saying every day. I'm just saying,
yes,
honor where you are right now, because that's the way out, right? You got lost in the woods. You got to go through the woods to get out. So the fight or flight is, I can fight, I can flee. And that's a different realm than the freeze state, which is, I can't. I mean, that's imminent death. I think our nervous system created this in order to not feel being eaten alive by the saber-toothed tiger. It's like, it goes way back. And we do have generational trauma and ancestral trauma and stuff that, until we actively do things to release it, we're just going to carry it on. It doesn't just go away. A lot of people a few years ago were already, we're just big cogs in a wheel, right? You got to go to work. You got to do this. You got to go home. You watch TV, go to bed. That's the no life. That's no life. That's being a cog in a wheel for corporate profits. But if we can somehow wait a minute, I'm sorry, I lost my thought there. So freeze is, I can't. Freeze is, train's about to hit me, or, saber-tooth tiger's right there, or whatever. It may not be me right now, but it's my nervous system has it. So, like, sometimes taking a deep breath, turn your head, look around. It's like you have this dominant breed dog inside that you got to convince that it's safe. So using the 5 senses, look around. What do I feel? What do I notice? Yeah, I'm relatively safe here right now. What do I hear? It's really quiet. Or, yeah, I got some nice music that I like playing, or whatever. What do I smell? Or what are a few of my favorite smells? And what do I taste? Or what are a few of my favorite tastes? And then you put your hand on your body somewhere and feel. Go, can I feel my body? Can I feel my arm sensing my hand too? And get as many little thoughts about that. That's how you hijack the nervous system back down into that green zone, because so much of our nervous system is in the 5 senses and our breath. So I tell people to do this too. It's like you can get a little bag or something, like an emergency bag that has like some of your favorite scents, smells, little sounds, or different 5 senses, like maybe a little ginger chew or something like that. But whatever it is for you, to have those 5 senses things available. So when you go, wow, my breath I'm breathing rapidly, my thoughts are racing, I'm kind of losing traction here. Okay, where's my magic bag? And just honor the nervous system's abilities. Because if we work with it, we can do so much better. If we think there's something wrong with me, I have to take a pill, now I've got these side effects too, and I'm not any closer to where I want to be. But understanding that it's not something wrong with me, I'm so grateful that my nervous system is able to do this. And so if I am feeling shut down or shame or hopeless or trapped, it's not that something's wrong with me. Something happened to me. Trauma is not an event. It's an imprint. And it's more than an event. It's an imprint on our nervous system. And so it's in there in the tissue. You can talk about it all day long, but until you work it out from the nervous system, it's still going to affect everything. And so being able to reset, do things, simple things like I just showed you 2 of them, to practice them daily, especially right now, so that you can notice, aha, these are the cues that my nervous system is giving me that I'm not feeling so safe. And then you can respond to that and go, okay, I can bring my nervous system back into present. If we allow ourselves to stay in that yellow zone, which honestly, there's people who are really uncomfortable in the green zone because they've spent so little time there. They like their anxiety pills and that lifestyle, but they're kind of missing out on the power of the human body and things that like Aubrey de Grey and stuff are working on about how we can function optimally. Now, if I have, like, for example, a primary care provider or a motor vehicle accident or things like that happen that are traumatic, when I start coming out of it and heading back towards safety, I'm going to go through that yellow zone, that fight or flight. I'm going to have rage and panic and all these things that it's going to be like, I don't even know where it's coming from. But that's the way out. It's the only way out. So understanding it's okay. It's not a good day. Like yesterday wasn't that great of a day. Today's better. Let's check and see what I'm doing that I can make tomorrow even better. But I need to be able to work to interocept within myself. Like that's like, I can feel hunger pains, right? I can feel my body. Okay, I'm hungry. Okay, what other feelings can I feel that from within that I'm not used to, that we've had this wall, it's, oh no, it's all about your thoughts. I think this and I think that. It's like, shut up and feel. But once we do this, and there's all kinds of breath work going out there that people are taking classes, and you've got Joe Dispenza and all these wonderful things going on. And it's really powerful. I highly recommend people to go outside of your safety zone and explore what tools you're willing to integrate other than pharmaceuticals and alcohol and whatever it is you're doing to numb out. Because it's the numbing out that's keeping us from enjoying the present moment. And that's when we get wrecked.
Amen to that. Plus, alcohol is the worst drug. It is the worst. There's nothing, and don't get me wrong, like I like a glass of bubbly, I'm not gonna lie, but alcohol, nothing makes you feel worse the next day. And as soon as we've all known that it's been it's bad news for a long time, especially large consumptions of it. Like take a look at what it does to your skin. Look at the difference between the skin of someone who doesn't drink and someone who drinks. If you don't drink, yeah, right. An anti-diuretic hormone. Why? Okay, think about you. I know you and I can go sideways on this one. I know everyone knows what I'm talking about. we are water beings, right?
Yes, we are.
70%, let's just say around 70% on average, 70% of our bodies are made up of water, or it's made of water. What moves with water, like these things. So, it sounds, without going too far,
And
without getting
the water
fired,
holds, the water holds the frequency and the light.
that's what I'm saying, right? So if you're drinking alcohol and you are consuming an antidiuretic hormone, and like you're excuse me, you're consuming an antidiuretic hormone inhibitor, which means that you are going to use the bathroom more than once. Like if you're ever wondering why, like, that like break the seal, so to speak, that's why, because your body is like, warning signal, poison incoming, flush the system. Like right. You're getting a warning sign, like you're getting screaming noises from your body, but the rest of your brain, that the rest of the biological chemical situation that's kicking in, let's just keep it there to not go sideways too far, but the rest of what's kicking in is like, what does it do? It makes you feel grounded because it makes you feel slow. But it is the opposite, like where it is the worst depressant. And if you're long story short, if you're finding yourself getting in that situation, you're flushing out your water because of a beverage that you're choosing, that is an excellent way to delay some gratification on yourself or numbing yourself a little bit. Like, there's nothing wrong with tossing a couple back on the weekend or whatever. But if you're finding yourself coming home being like, oh my gosh, like I had the longest day at work, I need a glass of wine. I can't even tell you how many women I hear say like, oh my God, I sat on the couch last night, I had 3 glasses of wine. And then they're like, my nose is stuffy today, I don't feel so good. I'm like,
yeah.
That's why I'm just saying, like, that could possibly, I'm not telling you what to do, but I could say like that could possibly be why. So if you're finding yourself like you're in the red zone, you're in the yellow zone, you're in the red zone a lot, and you're also partnering that with some consumption of things, like maybe step back from the situation a little bit, think about it a little bit, like cut down 1, cut down 2.
Yes. Well, also that's why another reason why this work is so profound is because addiction is an adaptation to trauma. And so
people know that or recognize that. Thank you.
If you're not ready to deal with the trauma, or you feel like you've failed so far at dealing with the trauma, sometimes that's the only way to get through a night. So I understand that, but I'm not a big fan of alcohol either. And the more I step away from it, the more I see how profoundly geared towards consumption our society is. And that keeps us, again, from being able to think and feel. And that's where they want us. So
I was just gonna say, well, we're right in the good spot then, because we're easily accessible. Right. We have the ability to move money at the click of a button, and now money will be able to be moved at hyper speed. So right. Can you imagine if they didn't put a dampening on the consumption rate that was going on? Like, people can't help themselves. Look at the junk aisles in the store. It's insane.
Yeah.
And they're all like,
go ahead.
No, you please. I'll go nuts.
We have gotten to a point of mass psychosis. Like everybody, all of us. There's so much fear. I believe our electromagnetic field around us indicates to others how safe or unsafe we feel. So if I'm coming from my heart and I'm strong in my heart, and I know I'm a Pulse-Chaniac, I'm good. You throw anything at me you want. Thank you, Richard Hart. But if I'm not so clear on that, or something's happened, then the trauma leads to addictions. And it's not just alcohol. It's Facebook, it's shopping, it's whatever it is, but it's a imbalance. And so if you're drinking more than your body can handle, and you're noticing that you're groggy the next day, or you have a hangover, whatever, just maybe take a couple of deep breaths and go, can I do a little less today? What can I do today to make me feel more safe, or to release some trauma from my nervous system so that I can be more present? Because when we're more present, we don't feel the need to do that. Have you ever heard of the rat park?
Rat park.
Rat Park was a research with rats where they were feeding rats cocaine in their water, and then they created this, instead of just having them in a cage with their water and thing, they created this whole thing where they've got environments where they're happy and they've got others around and connection and all these things in that green zone. And then they had one water with the cocaine in it and one without. And they all went to the one without. We all want to be happy. We all want to be loved. We all want to be healthy and free. It's the trauma that we have gone through that's affecting our ability to stay present and be a part of our lives and connect. We have a biological imperative to connection. And then all of a sudden, look, the whole planet's isolated.
Well, it's divide and conquer. How long has it been divide and conquer instead of build and unite?
About 5,000 years.
I mean, you know, in the age of Aquarius, here we are at the build and unite break. You know,
we're not there yet.
We're so far away from Aquarius, it's not even funny. It's actually like,
we're heading that way. We're heading that way.
Man, we've been heading that way since the 70s. Just before I was a sparkle in the sky at that time. Let's be serious.
Well, yeah, right.
But no, I mean, really, though, if you pay attention to those things, it does speak quite a volume as to the collective energy that is going on, because you can see if you step out and you look at this big zoom and you look at it like, have you ever seen those product map bubbles? Well, you can almost put people inside of those product map bubbles and see where their stresses are, where they're spending their money, and like, where, I don't know, who am I to say their inefficiencies lie, but let's, like, you know, we only have a short time here on earth and people have different goals. And when you get to a point of your red zone and you're feeling shut down, you're feeling unmotivated, you're feeling the can't situation, perhaps instead of looking at it, like, you know, you say like trauma. To me, when I hear trauma, I think like victim, I think victim mode, I think that victim mentality. I know that's not what you're saying, and I really want that to come across on stream. So it's not, oh, this happened. Like for me, it's like, you know, changing those little tiny words in our brain, like this happened to me, can be changed into this happened for me so that I may. This happened for me so that I can, or, you know, like just that's a little tiny switch in that just give you a little bit.
Trauma's a part of life. We're all going through it. You know, I mean, there's birth, there's joy, there's trauma, there's death, there's, you know, it's all a part of it. And our society tries to isolate us from our shadow part of it. But if we're courageous, if we can get to our heart and feel and explore, we can knock down some of the, you know, social constructs that are keeping us isolated or from being our best self, or keeping, I'm trying to avoid the word trauma now. No, keeping.
Well, no, I want, like, how can you put a good spin on trauma that is not what I'm trying to say?
We'll call it tension then. Yeah. Tension, because I don't know how, well, some of you out there will get this. So do you know what fascia is?
Fascia?
Yeah.
Muscle. Are you talking muscles?
Okay, so we've got bones and muscles and tendons and organs. And okay, so I've done human anatomy several times. But whenever I studied it, it's like the fascia was just like packing stuff. You know, it's like, get that out of the way so we can see what's really going on. Well, it turns out fascia is the most important thing. That's where the nerves are running through. And that's where the vagus nerve will shut you into green, yellow, or red. So I lost it.
Okay, by stimulating or decompressing that fascia itself. Like
when you, I'm sorry, stop. So,
gotcha.
So what happens is when we get anxious or fearful or traumatized, the fascia is what locks up. And so we think, oh, my muscles are so tight, I got to work out, and I'm trying to work out, and I don't have really good range of motion. And then we're done, and it's like they just pop right back in that locked position. But once we do these things and work through it and reset the nervous system, the muscle functions again because the fascia let go. So you might think that there's something wrong, but if you can feel it, you'll know that It's just your nervous system protecting you. And there are ways, again, we got to keep going back to step one. Put your hand on your heart, take a pause, take a breath, feel the light and the love. And to the darkest part, like maybe I will get wrecked and I won't get any money out of this whole thing, but I'll still be alive and I'll still be me and I'll have my family and I'll have my life. I don't want anybody to get wrecked. I'm just saying, I don't want anybody thinking that, money's the most important thing in the world. And if I don't have it, I'm not a valid human being. We're doing this. We're waking up on many levels and we're here for each other. And I think the Mexican community is amazing. And I love that we are welcoming in, thanks to Richard, so many other communities. And at a perfect time, too, because the 99%, it's our turn. They've had enough. Pandora's box has been opened and they can't stop it. And they know it and they're scared. See, now they're the ones that are really scared. So if we can, as a 99% army, work on our heart and our Richard heart and all that, and no, we already won. We already won. We're just here walking through the steps. We got this covered. So yes, we're the courageous ones who came here to walk through it. I don't believe there's so much of the fear out there and what you hear and see in the media, it's not even true. Don't waste your time on it. Go out in nature. Do things with your family and people that you love. Work on your own life. Because otherwise they won. If they can get us to be afraid and stay afraid and get wrecked, they won. No, I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going down with that fight. And my fight is different than what they're thinking of. My fight comes from within, and I already won. And then there's a spiritual aspect to it too, which whatever, I think of the disco balls, with the mirrors going all over. It's like all of us are a disco ball and each one of us has a unique perspective, but we're all part of a whole. And so it's like thanks to being able to do this work, when I do this work and understand it, like for example, I was on a live stream once with someone who was trying to start up a YouTube thing, and people were, help. He was really upset, and people were trying to help encourage him to keep going. You just got to keep going. And it was the problems and the reasons why not and stuff. And so the guys there were giving him, cues on what he could do. And so I said, well, also I noticed that people interacting with the chat's really helpful. And he said, Sandra, if you don't have any money for me, shut the fuck up. Now, normally, and I don't need to say who he is, but normally I would go, oh my God, what a jerk. But because I understand this, I was like, that guy is really activated. He's really scared. I'm glad that people are there to help him, and I hope he does well. Because I don't want anybody feeling that way. I mean, I'm not giving him any money, but and all these shootings and stuff, how related are they to, like, if children were taught this in elementary school and knew, it's like, there was a study, it's called the ACEs. It was a big study that was a lot of children where they just had a simple questionnaire where they asked them, I think in grade school, do you live with one or two parents? How many times have you moved in the past year? Have you had a death in the family? They just mentioned like 10 basic traumatic events. And then they followed up with them year after year. And as it turns out, the ones who had the higher score of trauma in their childhood had more disease and shorter lifespan. So this work of Dr. Porges is changing our whole mental health care awareness, because now in schools, instead of saying, what's wrong with Johnny? Put him in detention. He's just a problem. They're going, what happened to Johnny? What can we do to help him? But we can all heal. We can all be whole.
Yes, we can. It really starts with just if you're finding yourself in that yellow zone, You can kind of tell. Okay, can you explain to us, like, maybe perhaps physically what it might feel for somebody to be like in the yellow zone? I don't know if I said that in English, but
Well, your blood pressure increases, your heart rate increases, your fuel availability, your adrenaline increases, you're breathing fast, your thoughts are racing.
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like, you're physically in that moment. You might not recognize that you're being triggered, but sometimes if, like, say you're in a situation where somebody's like telling you that the job that you worked really hard on like wasn't good enough, and the way that they deliver it was not like a leader should, which is encouraging you to come back and retry and let's work on this together, but it was like blame, shame, send you right back into thoughts of trauma, right? So anyway, those are called triggers. So in those moments of being triggered, our physical manifestations of that yellow zone feel like.
So everyone's different. They're different for everyone. So like,
yeah, give us a broad.
you might feel a wash of cold over you. You might feel your hair's raising, dry mouth. What else could you
Intense
feel?
breathing, teeth clenching.
Right.
Yeah, and these are because the fascia that you mentioned, that fascia is doing what?
It's locking up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's contracting and it can't expand because of the fear.
Right. And think about it can't expand because of that fear. Like you said,
Right.
I'll hold that thought for a second, because I really wanted to trace this back with the feelings and physical manifestations in our body. So what I loved about anatomy and physiology was the etiology, or the etiology behind things. So the why. Why is this happening? The why, why is this why get to the root cause of it? If you have back pain, there's a myriad of reasons, but because there's this huge Christmas tree triangle of reasons over what the stem root cause of back pain is. Sandra gave you an excellent way to tap in and start to release some of those muscles from your lumbar and thoracic spine. So, and your cervical spine as well, because that's really, like you were saying, this is where our vasovagal nerve runs right down our back. And so if you're clenching that fascia around it, without going too far into the physicality of things, you're essentially not allowing nutrients and blood flow to get to that fascia. So it's not going to die out because it's getting enough. But for you, on the core inside of your being, for who you are, is just enough. Man,
Right.
expand on that one, right? So
Let me share. Oh, go ahead.
Please.
So that's part of what got me into this, was my own experience. I had a spinal cord injury. It was horrible. And none of the pain meds worked. I had 2 little kids. I was in the freeze zone for a while. But because I had already, had decades of looking at this, I went through different somatic practices, and Pilates and working out. I'm a personal trainer. I did everything I could to avoid the surgery. And afterwards, I found different things that were really helpful. And so I put together a 21-day program that I teach people online that layers this in a way where first I make sure that they get it where it can land. And then I add more. There's more exciting things that I can share. And one of them is this neurogenic tremor that our nervous system allowed us or evolved for us to have. There's a tremor that our body can do that releases the trauma from our tissue. And I found out about it, and I got trained in it, and I did all the trainings and the advanced trainings. And during one of the trainings, I was shaking. We all do it, right? When you shudder, I don't know if you out there, anybody have ever found yourself shaking and trembling and thinking there's something wrong with you. That's your nervous system releasing trauma. It's a good thing. But so when I was in this training, I still was under a lot of pain from the surgery. And during the training, all of a sudden, it was like my body did this whole stretch while it was tremoring, and my whole lower back, it was like the fascia just unraveled. And I've been pain-free since.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm here. So I'm here to share this with people, because I didn't do it with drugs. I didn't do it with, what they told me to do. I did it with what I felt I needed to do from within. And it
I
worked.
love that you're sharing another option out there. Everyone's situation is absolutely unique. So for them to have at least an idea of an option, like if you're present in that moment, you're able to receive that information, then now you know, okay, there's an avenue here. So Sandra, tell us about your consultations and what you briefly what you would do with a client who is gearing up for Pulse Chain launch and excited about, sudden wealth and looking to alleviate the syndrome part of that.
Right. Well, thank you. I would start with what I just said about the neuroscience of safety. And I think first, understanding that it's not that there's something wrong with you. You just need some more tools to be able to be more resilient to the stress that you have. Sometimes some people are more resilient than others. And so I would find where you are at right now in your moment and help you to discover through different things, different doing things, not talking about it, but teaching you different tools, inner sizes, I call them, so that you can take charge of your own mental health and you don't have to go pay anybody anything. But you have to learn to spend more time in that green. How do I get to that green zone? Okay, here I am throughout my day. Yes, obviously I'm activated. I'm in the middle of my day. What do I do? Okay, I'm just going to pause. Even that first step, that's one of the hardest steps, right?
Yes.
Can I pause when I'm in an activated state? It's like you get in bed at night and go, shit, I never even tried. But tomorrow I'm going to try.
Which is so much better than, what I would have said to them. Or, oops, I can't believe I said that to them.
Yeah, I wish I didn't say that.
No, but you're absolutely right. Being present. I love that you give people actionable steps to take and tools to use. Those are two extremely, extremely important things when you are looking. And if you're in that situation where you don't even know what it means to be present, a 15-minute conversation with Sandra is a game changer.
Oh, thank you.
Right. I mean, well, you're very intuitive. And, if somebody's not even sure of what it means to be present, at the end of the day, if you don't know what it means to be present and you don't really know what it likes when your body's getting into that yellow zone, guys are going to be along here for a long time. And, market moves with energy. And that market moving energy is not, I don't know if anybody's noticed it, but none of us has a crystal ball, and that is without our control. We don't have control of that. And what happens, the less control we feel like we have, unless you can be present, be grounded, get grounded, whatever that means to you, tune in. Sandra's here to help. She's here to help us tune into the most important frequency that is out there. You're on.
Right. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on here and for sharing all of this. Thank you, Susie, for all of the love and enthusiasm you have shown throughout this chat. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Susie. Love you.
I do not doubt for 1 second that Susie has disco balls in her garage. Not for 1 second. I can actually picture this, and I can't wait to see you use them. Absolutely. Hey, Wild SJ, thanks for coming on.
SJ.
Machiavelli 23, thank you for being here. Machiavelli Crypto Shifters, really Vibra Finance CEO, thanks for being here too. HOA, these are just topics that we pull up, and we get to connect and talk about these. And some people think well, what the heck does this have to do with crypto or markets or Pulse Chain or what's going on? But at the end of the day, if you're making decisions from a stoic standpoint, you're impenetrable. You have a game plan. Your mind's tight. It's right. Like,
and to hold that and be a yummy, scrumptious donut with sprinkles.
I mean, could life get better? Right? You know, this community is like we all laugh, we all kind of like joke, and it's like an inside joke, like, yeah, you like, obviously they didn't pass the IQ test if you don't get it. If you don't know and you're curious and you want to learn more about pulse chain and hex and the ecosystem that we're talking about, there are a lot of us out here. This collective is landed in crypto land, and you can see it in pockets of different communities all throughout. So with that collective energy coupled with economic energy, that gets me really excited.
Right.
Well, so when you're pretty cool too.
So when you're feeling yourself getting activated about this whole thing, pause and take a deep breath. And when you catch yourself, and I do it too, when you catch yourself getting into stuff that you know you shouldn't, just stop and walk away and take a deep breath. And do you know that if you walk for 5 minutes, your brain is bathed in fresh blood?
5 minutes a day, walking, fresh blood to the brain. So tell us about the benefits of fresh blood to the brain.
Well, I mean, you should take a 5-minute break every hour, right?
Yes. Brandon Burchard does, allegedly.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise you're sitting there and the blood is draining down and things stop. Movement. It's all about movement, right?
I sit on a giant ball.
Yeah, that's great. You know, they did an experiment with kids with ADHD, and they put them all on the chairs with those ball chairs, and they all just really sat up tall and could focus more.
Yep, that was why when Charlie turned 19 and I found myself an entrepreneur / homeschooling teacher / all the other roles I was actively playing at that time. In the Matrix, you know, caught up in that jazz. But what I did was I got my kids these big ball. That sounded funny. I almost said that out loud. Oops! Don't clip that. I got my kids these exercise balls to sit on, and it's great for if you're sitting at a workout desk and you won't get a flat bum on this because you're working on your core muscles. You gotta be able to, you know, maintain your core. And sit up so your back's not you can't slouch. If you do, you're rolling sideways. If you ever see me rolling off camera, it's because I lost my foot. But yeah, and then also, yeah, go ahead.
Self-massage, you know, touching, feeling, and the ears, pulling on your ears. The vagus nerve goes right by your ear.
So
humming, singing, self-massage.
And pull your ears. That feels pretty good. Do it to your partner tonight. See what they say.
Careful, don't get hit.
What are you doing? I'm trying to relax your nervous system. Lay still.
Do your own. Let everybody do their own.
I'm just trying to fill in the dots and make this an imaginative entertainment show, obviously. So, no. But really, you gave us some actionable steps, some beautiful gems here. A body shaker platform. Susie, I don't even know what is a body shaker platform. Please elaborate on that one.
Oh, a vibration plate where you stand on it and they say that it's good for your muscles and you can increase your muscle tone through the vibrations.
Oh my God. Hey, movement. Thanks for stopping. And when you said that, all I could picture was those, I don't even know what era this is from. I could be totally wrong. But 60s. Like that Mad Men era where they're like, the ropes are like,
yeah, my mom had one.
I mean, if you think about it, though, you're stimulating the lower lumbar. You're stimulating parts of the thoracic lumbar there, and you could also be moving around some psoas and Jacob's ladder, getting some
and helping the nerves to just helping the fascia to let go.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and it all goes back. We're coming back into, we're not spiraling here. We're going back in circles of actionable steps that you can use. Get a bouncy ball, bounce on that trampoline. If you have access to a mini trampoline, jump on that for 30 seconds. If you're feeling stuck, if you're sitting at work and you're feeling stuck and you're like, oh, I just can't do this anymore, get up and do 10 jumping jacks. If you don't have access to a trampoline, they're just more fun.
Yeah. Oh, I got all kinds of ways to do it.
See, and this is why you should call her and schedule a 15-minute consultation with her so that she can share all these valuable ideas with you because she's good at her job.
Thank you. I also do. I also have learned, I got into different plant medicines and psychedelic experience. And what I realized through it is that there were people there who had no business being there, and they were not having a good time. They were not getting what they came for. And so I started having them meet with me beforehand and preparing them. I actually got trained in this too. I'm a transformational psychedelic coach.
What? You're like that bag of tricks you had out earlier. I'm like, I'm not saying that. Okay.
But I mean, there's this whole wave of people going that way, and if they'll go that way with their nervous system more grounded, they'll get what they came for, instead of going, oh my God, what am I doing here? I'm all freaking out. You know.
I really would love for you to repeat that service, like repeat what that service is again for those who might not understand, because it is so valuable.
It's so valuable, and it's starting to become mainstream now too.
I mean, I've never participated in that, but like all I can think of from like a medical professional standpoint thing is I saw so much of that where people were tracing, like literally, if you want to call it like chasing the dragon, to be like quite literal, when people are chasing the dragon, you're chasing and chasing, chasing and chasing. No matter what that looks like. If it starts with 1 cup of coffee and it goes to 3, you're you're in trouble there, kiddo. Yeah. But in all seriousness, people reach that point so quickly, and then they burn out like a star. Because they're not doing the mental preparation work. And what you're confronting yourself with when you stimulate your nervous system like that, because synthetically, that's what you're doing when you're using things like that, is you're synthetically stimulating your parasympathetic in your nervous system. You're just like complete overload, right? So those people that are getting completely overloaded, it's too much. They need like a gentle barrier entry. This is what you should expect, like those kind of things. That way people aren't lights out.
Right.
Anyway.
You're awesome, Lindsay. Thank you so much for having me.
If we go back to the like down to simple things and think less is more for like just across the board. If you start least invasive and then go to most invasive, then you have a lot of playground to work with, right?
Right.
So, and I don't even know how to tie that one back to crypto. So maybe we should just wrap it up here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. Please follow Sandra on Twitter. Please give us your Twitter handle. That's easily.
Oh, I am here. This is exposing me now. I am Fusion Neural. So it's FUZION NEURAL. It's all one word.
There she is. Hey, look, there's that's J too. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go.
She is. Give her a follow. Give her a call. Seriously. Okay. And while you're there, like and follow Vibra Finance and like, share, subscribe. Please hit the bell notification, all that jazz. Share this stream with your friends, because at the in the middle of here somewhere, I got to clip that. The exercise that you gave us to use is valuable. Worth a rewatch, guys. It's worth a rewatch. I'm telling you. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check back with us tomorrow morning. Adam will be live dropping some more crypto market alpha. Can't wait to see what he digs up. Some more.
He was great today.
Oh, he's so good. I love it. It's so nice. I get to hear his stream like real time. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Nice.
Yeah. Never a boring day here at Vibra Finance. Definitely not. Absolutely. All right, guys. Until the next time, be good to yourself, be good to your health, and be good to your wealth too. All right. Bye.